Madison Square, you wanna see that? Only the strong will survive it. Now everybody.
For Pittsburgh, last year's stay on the big stage of the Big East Championship was a shock. The question, was it a fluke? Now we know it was a foundation, a program rebuilt on discipline and defense, guided by guile and guard play. Is there a championship page to be written tonight?
Down to the paint, cause it ain't where you start. It's all about the fight and desire in the heart.
The city has become UConn country, from Danielle's days to Ray's run, and even through Rip's trip. The constant has been Calhoun. This team is Butler's bunch. To win another title tonight, they're going to need one more from Gordon in the Garden.
Madison Square, you wanna see that? Only the strong will survive it. Now everybody.
Pittsburgh in white, Connecticut in blue. They're both going to be high seeds. Somebody's going to be a champion in 2 hours.
And it's going to be tough on Talik Brown. Again, he's going to have to look for some help, but he has a luxury, and that luxury is number 50. The shot blocker par excellence, Emeka Okafor.
Knight fading away.
Interesting dilemma for Ben Howland in Pittsburgh. They're excellent at guarding the perimeter, but UConn doesn't take many outside shots, at least three-point shots, as we just saw. They want to get the ball inside high-percentage shots.
Louis Page and Tony Robertson match up. Zawadzki's 2 used the window for his first field goal in some time. Robertson, watched by Page, gave it to Selvey against space created with Zawadzkis. Robertson, powerful dribble across the lane from the left side.
Again, we've seen the Husky strategy.
Sneaking his way into the rotation a little bit more as we get closer to the games no one forgets.
And again, the early appearance by Brown, give him a little confidence. He can be helpful.
Everybody knew Butler was coming. Nobody could stop it. Karan has his field goal to put Connecticut up by 2.
And there's the pressure again.
Bench transfer from Nebraska, Chad Johnson, 6'5" senior. That's a 2 to even the game.
Connecticut would love to see them quicken the pace because it certainly works to the Husky benefit.
Johnson drawing the defensive assignment. Third different player to guard Butler, who says, "Hi, nice to see you. I'm the conference player of the year."
That's his calling card.
Nice bounce tonight. The feed from Ontario Lett is the 20th assist of the season for the big fella. Troutman, is he trigger shy after missing the last one? Okafor with a great block. Troutman beat him, thought he was going to get the goal, and Okafor said no. Brown lost it, but it found Butler.
Caron Butler has that knack of sticking around, getting his hands on outlet passes and converting them. But more than anything else, lost opportunity for Pittsburgh. But when you have two teams as accomplished as both these teams are offensively, the game really becomes a battle of defense. And that's what we're seeing right now.
Zawadzki's 3.
Good job by Robertson that time to cut Page off on the sideline.
Troutman in close, challenged Okafor again, and Emeka takes it away.
Big time play.
Robertson for 3. Butler got it.
Well, Emeka Okafor again, big defensive play right now. This should put a stop to a lot of the attempts in Pittsburgh trying to get the ball inside. You know, it's the second big block that he's made, and when you start getting into a rhythm as a shot blocker, the other team recognizes that, they start to avoid you, and when they start to avoid you, you start making mistakes.
For some perspective on the block numbers for Okafor, the all-time freshman record in college basketball, Sean Bradley in '91 with 177. Okafor now has 126. They've just changed that last shot, not originally credited for a block, but they did give him one, correctly so. Oh, this time Ontario Lett got him in the air, which you rarely see from the polished freshman. When the beauty offensively for Pittsburgh with Page and Brown, Knight doesn't have to dribble it up every time. Sometimes you can get it later on the shot clock and let him create. Timeout, Connecticut. the largest Pittsburgh lead of the first 16-16.
Boy, what a marvelous read by Brandon Knight.
They talk often, most every day during the season, not as much X's and O's, but more how to handle things that happen in games. That is a blocking foul, and the basket's good. Talik Brown, the latest in a long line of some very good guards to run the show for Jim Calhoun's team. Tate George, Kevin Ollie, Jerome Sheffer, Ricky Moore, Khalid El Amin. All guys who've shined on this stage at the Garden, who will be the next generation of champions in the Big East. University of Hartford won the America East Women's Conference Tournament. As we look at a Connecticut point guard on the line in Talik Brown, it's worth noting that former Connecticut point guard on their ladies team, Jen Rosati, is the head coach at the University of Hartford. So congratulations to Jen, and maybe she'll see Gino Auriemma in a first-round game, her old coach. This point guard trying to get going, less turnovers, but really went all drives, not many outside shots from Brown.
Well, that's his game, and Jim Calhoun will tell you he doesn't need Talik Brown to score for him. He needs him to penetrate, get others involved, take the shots when they're there, play solid defense on the other end. He's doing his part tonight.
Gordon scores, the lead is one. We'll let you listen to the Husky fans as their team plays defense. Rebound, Gordon. They always have these spurts. Every UConn game you do. Here is Butler. Okafor cleaned it up. There's a fresh shot clock. So Pittsburgh has plenty of time. Knight on Brown. Trying to force it in there. Robertson almost knocked it away. Ticker is at 15. Brandon Knight, Jerron Brown. Twister your Okafor said, get out of here.
All those gyrations were part of the understanding that Okafor is there and he may block something.
And Knight still ends up silencing the Husky fans and bringing the Panther fans to their feet. The leader at halftime has won 21 of the 23 Big East championship games. It's the Panthers +1. Shot clock coming to 10. The ball is not in the hands of Knight, and the turnover happens up high with Chad Johnson. Butler goes over. Okafor finishes.
Two excellent no calls by the officials. I know Ben Howland is screaming.
Butler reacts defensively. Still plenty of time. This is what Pittsburgh does. Nothing happened on that first set.
But look at Brown overplaying Knight, trying to keep him from getting the ball, but Knight goes back door.
That's a foul. It's a holding foul. It would have been 15 yards in the NFL. This is an interesting time for Connecticut. How does their offense go with their point guard on the bench? Right back door on Gordon with Page. Wet. Crashing the glass. Ontario has a dozen.
Of the ball, they're playing pretty good defense. It's their support defense that's letting them down.
Robertson for three. Tony Robertson hits the first three of the night for the Huskies. UConn only hits 4 per game. Not a big part of their arsenal, but they get it when they need it. Leck for Johnson. That one was telegraphed. Butler runs the left. Selby the right. Gordon takes it himself.
Boy, that was about as comfortable as I've seen Ben Gordon in leading the fast break. You know, he's not really a point guard. He's had to be pressed into that type of service. And here he kind of weaved his way through the crowd. A nice little scoop shot. Boy, what a tremendous tournament for that freshman.
Every once in a while, you get the old flash card for the offensive set.
Well, I think what Pittsburgh has done is anticipated this being a pro-Connecticut crowd, and if the crowd got loud, you know, they wanted to utilize that to make sure their guys understand what they're running and when.
And it is something that they have utilized during the season. Knight got it, friendly rim, and his first three of the night, even he had a smile at that bounce. Emeka Okafor, third team All Big East, in addition to being a unanimous All-Rookie selection in the league this year. A very smart young man as well. Over 4 grade point average in high school because of his advanced placement classes. In addition to all the numbers he puts up on the stat sheet, puts up great numbers in the classroom as well. To come home and his sister, who he's very close with, is watching TV, and Emeka will say, "What are you watching TV for?" He doesn't watch TV hardly at all, except for some sports here and there. He loves to read, a very educated and intelligent young man. Page lost his shoe.
A nice dribble
By Butler. Big finish. Man. A pro finish.
may prove to be prophetic.
And the Panthers stop it here. Pittsburgh takes a 30 and becomes a full timeout. So we'll step out. All even at 41. The battle in the Big East. The champs of the regular season getting it done. They are now wearing the bullseye as a team that needs to be beaten. That was Gordon's 4th foul, beg your pardon. So he has to come to the bench with 4. Only player with 4. Page hits them both. Now, nobody expected much out of Pittsburgh. The run from the opening round of the Big East Championship to the title game last year opened eyes, and people said, well, boy, that was nice, but they don't have a ton of guys coming back. They lose Ricardo Greer, a fabulous player. But they have really put together a terrific season. And once everybody saw them through the first month of the conference year, they said, they play good defense. Watch out for them. They grow on you. And boy, do they ever.
Well, and they've handled the transition well from the hunter to the hunted. You know, you have to have a special feeling for your... You can't put the ball down with this Panther bunch because they will go after it wherever it might be. But to go to that point, Mike, it's all about understanding how to win regardless of what you're playing for.
Tough turnaround shot by Butler. He went to school in a tough neighborhood where he grew up in Wisconsin with a firearm and narcotics at age 15. He was sentenced to 6 months. Spent the time in a juvenile detention facility and really learned a lot of the hard lessons of life in the toughest way. Zavotskis rings out a 3. Brown on the rebound, ties the game at 47 apiece. Those dancing feet of Robertson trying to lose Knight. Got him in the lane, but didn't go. Gordon to 3.
It's been like that all week.
So unafraid of taking a big shot. Huskies by 2 inside of 2.
It's 2 overtimes, you know, 1-point games as well. And still, this came to be the hottest team in the conference coming into this tournament. Had a close game against Villanova that they survived. They know how to win down the stretch.
Page took a tough shot and tied the game. 50-50 with 90 to go.
Tough offensive night at a critical situation. They call his number.
Number 3 is the co-player of the year. Zavotskis will guard him. We'll see what they run to try to get it in Duran's hands. And if not, Gordon's always a great option. Here comes Gordon off the screen, down the lane. Force the issue. Okafor, Johnny on the spot. Back in Brandon's hands. Robertson with the stifling D in the second half.
So look at the mismatch. Talik Brown playing Zavotskis. Let's see what happens there.
Knight was stopped. Brown ties the game. Shot clock is off. Timeout Pittsburgh. And the Huskies may hold for 1 and go for a title right here. Tony Robertson. They have so many options to handle. They also lose Knight defensively. Such a great defender for Pittsburgh. 8 seconds. Gordon has it. He's looking for a screen. He's looking for Butler. Here is the co-player of the year. To the basket. To Okafor. It's blocked. Okafor again down. Overtime. Okay, Dave, thank you. So we'll keep an eye on that. Okafor shooting free throws, 62%er, makes the first. San Diego State will get you to Bob Carpenter and Jimmy Dykes at the Thomas and Mack momentarily.
Look at Johnny Sullivan. He's probably trying to figure out and ask what's going on with Brandon.
One more coming for Talik Brown. And he makes that by how they perform in the NCAAs. Forget RPIs. Zavotskis. Free. Robertson on the glass. Little UConn push. Butler on the wing. Tries to close himself. Brown comes off, or Gordon comes off the street. And hits a 3! Largest lead of the night. Page turned away. Siobhan Troutman back on the floor.
So here's where they need the guy to penetrate with the ability to make plays. It doesn't matter.
Zavatskis. 4th three of the night. 2-point game. Buck 15 to go. 10-second difference. Shot and game clock.
Good job of 1 and out at a point when they absolutely needed a stop.
Here's Lett going after Okafor. Got there. Got it. He's going to get a long shot here. Knight cannot run at all. He's got it here at midcourt. He's going to put it up. It's on line. Oh, and at the front rim. And he crumples in front of us here at the table. He almost hit one of the great shots in the history of this conference. Double overtime in the title game.
And technically they're sound, but this is going to be a game of instincts. You got to have point guard instincts to create when the defense takes something from you.
Butler, who did not do much in the overtime, now has 21. Remember, it's double overtime on the back end of 3 games in 3 nights. You're talking players who have played, in many cases, 120-plus minutes here in the last 3. Connecticut played in the night session all 3 games. Pittsburgh had the longer break from Thursday afternoon at noon to Friday at 7. Lett. He has been fabulous tonight. Huskies run the weave. Take some time. Maybe set up Butler off a bump here. He has it in his hands a little quicker. 8 to shoot. Got to make something happen. Lost the handle as he spun, but collected and connected.
Again, look for some penetration, either a kick out or a dump down. Talik Brown very adept at getting into that paint.
Gordon. Almost lost the handle again in a key spot, trying to get a timeout. Tie up.
Shouldn't have called the ball. You got to recognize where that arrow's going. UConn has 1 timeout.
That's right. That's right. And Pittsburgh has none.
So fortunately for UConn, they're able to save that timeout. But you got to know which way the arrow's pointing.
And they all know, Jim Calhoun just yelled, shot clock at 2. Talik Brown has to force one from deep.
The guy least likely to hit a perimeter shot for UConn on the floor.
Man. Page, they need 3. Rebound Robertson to Gordon. He's fouled, and the Huskies can smell it.
Who'd have thunk it? Oh, holy mackerel. And take a look. Look at where he is. Shot clock running down. 5-8 feet beyond the pro line. That's a 30, 35 footer. Straight on line. That helped him. It's like shooting a very, very long free throw. How about very, very, very long free throw?
The euphoria is great. It must be tempered with the moment. 2-possession game. 18.6. Pittsburgh needs a quick one.
Good point, and Pittsburgh has been there.
And it's taken away by Gordon. Robertson.
Pittsburgh, no timeouts, can't stop the clock. That's about it.
And a foul is called on Gordon. He fouls out by midcourt.
Jim Calhoun is beside himself. Cannot understand how Ben Gordon can try for a play that's going to stop the clock and allow Pittsburgh to score with no time passing.
Brown makes 1 of 2. It's 72-65. Almost nothing Pittsburgh can do. It's in the hands of Selvey.
John Selvey almost got called for a tag hanging on that rim.
For the 5th time, the Huskies, the biggest in the Big East.
In double overtime tonight, the final score, University of Connecticut Huskies 7-4. University of Pittsburgh Pirates 65. The Connecticut Huskies are the champions of the Big East tournament.
Caron Butler, most outstanding player, including Brandon Knight, Chris Thomas.
All right, Talik from Corona Park, Queens, not far away from here. Could this be more of a perfect script for you? Tell me about the three-point shot. What were you thinking? Only 2 seconds left in the shot clock when you got the ball.
I just threw it up in the air. It just went in. It was just swish. I was just so excited.
Congratulations. Go enjoy it.
Thank you.
There's Caron Butler, 23 points. You may be the most outstanding player here. Who knows if it's your last Big East game here. Caron, what about the emotions that are going through your mind right now in such a close double overtime game?
It was real close, and it's a hard game because it's a great Notre Dame Pittsburgh basketball team. But we just wanted to win and show that we the best team in the Big East, and yet alone probably even in the country. And we just had to represent today.
You just shook your head no a minute ago. It's official. You are the MVP. Congratulations. Was this your last Big East tournament game?
Not at all. I'm not even worried about that right now. I'm concentrating on winning out and having a great tournament and hopefully winning the whole thing. And me and my coach, we'll talk about it at the end of the season. Right now, I'm not worried about that. I'm focused on coming back to Connecticut.
Go celebrate. Congratulations, Jimmy. Double overtime today. Brandon Knight goes out of the game. What kind of factor was that for you?
I think the whole game, it proved that both Connecticut and Pittsburgh are two very, very tough basketball teams. Some could say, well, shooting wasn't good. Tell me when you got a clean shot. Tell me when you got a clean pass, a clean anything. I really think that was as tough a tongue war as I've been involved with. And I mean, how about the Pittsburgh kids? They lose night, yet they come back and keep us in double overtime. Great shot by Talik, great heart by both teams, and our kids come up with a couple big plays.
Is it more redeeming, Jim, because this is such a young team? You talked about the maturity really beyond their years.
Well, there's no question. I mean, Ben, a couple times didn't come off screens the way he's supposed to, and he's all upset. I mean, he's got to see it. That's why they're so young, but they were terrific, and I'm very proud of them.
Mike, 5th Big East championship for this guy. Jim Calhoun.
Dave, thank you. Wonderful week here in the Garden. Thanks to everyone who worked the week with us.